I might. I don't know. I don't have Steam or anything, so. Well, I'm probably not really that interested in a lot of the games that they have. I haven't really looked all that much. So. Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and I can hear you. That's great. And I have this broadcasting on the stream as well.
Greetings to everyone on the stream. I'm AzumaYugi, and I just finished recording Let's Play.
Yes, he's Let's Playing the... Alright. Yes, that's the point. You can hear us both. AzumaYugi's been... What? Dude.
It's weird because the stream's like kind of delayed, so it's like...
Yeah, you can just go ahead and mute your stream so you're not hearing the double voices.
This is gonna be weird since it's really delayed. Like, you're gonna be explaining something and it's gonna show up like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, I know, but we're just gonna have to be used to it. I'll probably end up putting this on YouTube, even though most people know how to kill Lynels super well by now. So,
Well, I just got wrecked by one. And I just
yeah,
I'm gonna take another path. I'm not gonna fuck with these guys. Not yet.
Is this the one up on Shatterback Point, or is this a completely random one?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you filled the map pretty well.
Yeah, I've done everything in the game, so as you can see by that little 100% and all that.
That is freaking crazy because the world's pretty big from my experience right now.
Yeah, it's big when you're first playing it, but it feels a lot smaller to me now, funnily enough.
It's the open world experience. After you explored everything, there's not really much else.
Yeah. So, I don't know which Lynel you've been going after, but the one on top of Polymus Mountain, where the cursor is right now, this is always the lowest level Lynel, even if you complete everything. Because the Lynels...
Actually,
yeah?
there was actually a trail near Capurico where it led to, like, the bottom of a snowy mountain, and there was, like, I don't know, red line.
Oh, okay. I know where that is, but I'm going to show you a red Lynel anyways, because as you progress through the game, the Lynels get stronger, so they have slightly different abilities. So I'm just going to go up to this one that's always red and just kind of show you the general takedown for Lynels. It's probably going to go by really fast because I'm like, late game and everything's done. But afterwards I can do a silver Lynel and show you kind of how those fights go, because it's going to be about the same in terms of duration, I believe. So, I'm just looking to see if I should change my armor at all a little bit. Yeah, I'll take off my hat. I'll just go standard. Standard Breath of the Wild Link.
Or you just go completely bare.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could, but I'm not that stupid. So,
I can't imagine myself just getting the classic looking tunics.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you only have like 100 spots for armor, but there's more armor than that, especially if you do DLC or the amiibo. But if you're just going for all the in-game stuff, then you'll be okay.
I'm actually fine with the Hylian tunic that you get in Kakariko, like at the very beginning. I'm actually fine with that.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. It doesn't give you any bonus effects, but I do recommend looking at some other outfits because they give you bonus effects and they can be really helpful when traveling the world, because you will actually outright need them to get through if you don't want to waste materials and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
It's a shame aesthetically, I think it looks pretty good. Like if that wasn't a thing, then I'll totally wear it the entire game.
Yeah, I know. I do like the Helene tunic. I went a while wearing it, but right now I'm doing the Champion's tunic and the Helene pants. So if you can look on the stream, I'm up on this mountain range where there's always a red Lynel. You will come up here for a story related point later. But no matter how much you progress through the game, this guy is always red.
Alright.
So, couple things about Lynels to note is that they are probably the smartest normal enemies in the game. As you've probably experienced,
Yeah,
they're
I've noticed.
yeah. It's regrettable, but you learn through
I just gotta
experience.
get that guy. Like I try to find a vantage point to like snipe him with like arrows,
Yeah,
and he just like immediately like knew where the arrow came from
yeah,
and shot me with like ice arrows.
yeah. Because they carry elemental arrows. If they see you, they will try and attack you. Um, so there's a couple ways to go about fighting them. And generally, one of the more effective ways is I'm going to wait until he comes back around a little bit so I can show you. But their weak point, so to speak, is their face. Like if you're able to hit them in an arrow with in the face with an arrow, it stuns them. So the easiest way to do that is to get the slowdown, and that's usually by getting them from a high vantage point or something like that, and just taking your time to aim and firing arrows. Of course, this depends on how much stamina you have.
It also depends on how good your aim is.
Yes, that's true, but it's not really that hard. Another thing to note is that Lynels are generally immune to the elemental arrows. Like, they can't get stunned by shock arrows, they can't get frozen by ice arrows, things like that.
Yeah, I totally tried to do that, but that didn't work on it.
So I'm just leaping in right now,
Arrows and ice arrows.
and I'm stunning this guy. Of course, that didn't stun him. But then when he slashes at you and you're close enough, you can backflip and dodge into a parry rush, which will show up on screen as you're about to see in a moment.
Holy crap.
And then they can spew fireballs.
I actually did
Ooh,
parry rushes
fuck,
3
that was
times.
dumb. So they can throw fireballs, but it's handy because you can glide on the updraft. But then this idiot's going to pull out his arrows, so I'm just going to hit him in the face a couple times.
I actually did manage to parry rush him, but my weapons are
Oh, fuck.
kind of crap right now, so I didn't really get the difference.
Yeah. So the red ones, as you can see, have 2,000 HP. The strongest varieties have 5,000 HP.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So you really need to have good durability on your weapons, or at least strong weapons. But again, skill can counteract that stuff. But on the plus side, if you do beat them, their equipment is really good. Like their sword,
One thing that bothers me about the game so far is like, I guess I don't mind there's like durability, but it's kind of inevitable in this game. Like there's no real way to stop the weapons from breaking. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it's kind of there to enhance the quote-unquote story and to sort of encourage you to experiment with your battle tactics.
I suppose, yeah.
So, the Lynel bow...
It kind of sucks when you find a weapon you're comfortable with, and you're just like, and you're eventually gonna break, and you gotta find another one, which might vary.
Yeah. But later you can get an upgrade to the Sheikah Slate where you can look for where you can have a radar for particular items and stuff.
Oh.
So I've done that for weapons, because for the longest time I was really into royal broadswords because they were really easy to find. They had decent power, decent durability. Excuse me. But now I'm into the Lynel swords that the silver Lynels drop, because they're like the second or third best weapon in the game after the Master Sword and another weapon. But one thing to note about the Lynel bows is that they will shoot multiple arrows at once at the cost of only using one arrow. So it's kind of like a spread. So like I'll show you really quick. The regular Lynel bow that you can get from red Lynels, it's usually about 10 to 15 power, but it's times 3 because it fires 3 arrows, so it's essentially 30 power. So you can see it on screen there if you're watching the stream.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So
you just barely equip it.
yeah. And then I'm using the more powerful variety, the Savage Lynel bow. Another thing to do when you're fighting Lynels is, I don't know if you've done this yet, but you can make food with attack up and defense up boosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get a high level, that's a 50% boost to either your defense or attack, and that of course depends on what armor you're wearing or what weapon you're holding. So either one is really useful. If you have any items that have the prefix hardy, if you just cook one of them, you can just throw it in a pot and you'll get an item that gives you full recovery plus temporary hearts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's really handy.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with cooking, but gotta try hard not to get hit.
Yeah.
Especially with the defense food.
Yeah, so, but, you know, experiment, see what works best for you. I'm going to show you... Well, I'm going to do one thing really quickly, get back up to full health. And then I'll show you a silver Lynel fight, because it's basically the same level as you probably facing a red, give or take. But
I actually made beef fried wild greens.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Even if you just put in just.
It only gave me like +2.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the more hardy items you put in together, the more temporary hearts you'll get from it. So like I think if you throw in like 5 hardy things into a dish at once, you'll get something that gives you like 20 something temporary hearts. It's ridiculous.
Okay, you really abusing the VMG.
Yeah, like if you've ever watched speedruns of these, like they do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, especially in the shrines, to bypass some of the puzzles and things like that. But like even just how they move, how they go into certain battles and things like that. Okay. Oh, another thing I should mention about Lynels. There's actually 3 varieties to them, and it's based on what weapons they hold. So the red one that's up on Shatterback Point is always a sword. And swords are probably the easiest once you get used to them because their reach isn't that long and their timing's pretty easy to get down. Spears are a little bit harder because they have a little more reach and they have slightly different attacks. And then the Crusher Lynels are the worst because their weapons do a ton of damage and I don't bother fighting them, so I don't really know their tactics that well. But if you're going to farm Lynels because they give out good materials and weapons and stuff when you beat them, go for any Lynel that has swords because it'll just save you a lot of time.
Swords.
Yeah, and I prefer swords because they're one-handed, they're fast, they have decent power. I don't really do spears or clubs anymore. Like the only two-handed weapon I really like, and even as a novelty, is the giant boomerang and the sledgehammer. The sledgehammer's just fun.
I think I've used a giant boomerang, but it was technically like a zombie arm or something.
Yeah.
But it acted like a boomerang. It really came back at me.
Yeah, that's when you throw it with R. Otherwise, it works like any other two-handed weapon. Okay, so now I'm heading up to a silver Lynel that has swords. A sword rather.
I've noticed that you have like 20 hearts. Is that like, are there enough shrines to have all the hearts and all the stamina?
It's only all of one or the other. You can't get both.
Oh, okay.
Max hearts is 30. Max stamina is 3 full wheels.
Alright, so you have to choose one or the other then.
Yeah, over full. I did hearts because I like getting all hearts in the Zelda game, and then
Same.
yeah. So like I had full hearts before and finished the game before I even got more stamina. It was just kind of silly.
I mean, I can't really imagine what much else you can do after like a certain amount of stamina you increase.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go to a different.
Like so far, I've only needed like I don't know, like 1.5 bars of stamina.
Yeah, but like I said, I went through the whole thing with only one with the standard stamina circle, but now I have like over 2. So
I mean, I guess you could climb more mountains quicker, I guess.
yeah, but again, I like having all hearts for a Zelda game.
It has a motorcycle you have right there.
Yes, I'm sorry. That is DLC spoilers. That is a reward
Holy crap.
for clearing the second DLC.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know. It's the whole machine thing, the whole machine theme in the backstory kind of reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
But it also reminds me of Sentai.
No, I can totally see where you're coming from for that. I think I told you that this game was partly developed by the Xenoblade team. So, there's
I didn't know that.
yeah. So obviously there's influence there.
Okay, now that makes more sense. They really remind me of the Mechons.
Yeah.
They're just destroying everything. They're like, I don't know, seemingly unbeatable unless you get like some ancient artifact that's designed specifically to beat those things.
Yeah. So I was going to show you like one of the Lynels that I beat regularly, but that area that I was heading towards kind of has a spoiler question mark. So I'm going to go to an area that's a little less spoilery. So let's see.
I don't know where one corrupt is, but nah.
Okay. So
those things are kind of a pain.
So on stream right now, I'm looking at a silver Lynel through the Sheikah. These guys are a pain in the ass if you're first learning how to fight them. But even if you still know how to do it, they can catch you off guard and knock you away for loads of damage. Oh, another thing, their shields, when you do a parry with them and you're close enough, it will actually do damage to enemies because the edges are sharpened.
Damn. Oh god.
So I'm going to get in a little closer and beat this guy up and kind of show you how it goes.
I had no idea about these things until I actually encountered in one.
Yeah.
That's the red one too. I actually thought it was like, at first when I zoomed in, I'm like, is that Ganondorf? Is he a centaur now? What is this?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything about the Ganon fight, so I'm not going to tell you anything about that. So
yeah, don't tell about that. But yeah, this is my first reaction. Like, is that Ganondorf running around the area?
No, my friend Cody, he had this game before I did on the Wii U because I wanted to get a Switch to play this game.
Yeah.
And he was telling to me about the Lynels, and then I got to a point where I first encountered one and was like, "Are you shitting me?" Because I got my ass handed to me. It was ridiculous. But as you'll probably see on the stream right now, I'm wearing the Fierce Deity armor set from the Majora's Mask Link amiibo, and each piece gives me an attack up boost, and 3 attack up boosts boost my attack by 50%. So because I'm using the 60 power Master Sword right now, I will be doing 90 damage to him per each attack.
Holy crap! And you can get this pretty early as long as you have the amiibo, right?
Yeah, if you have the amiibo, you can enable the amiibo rune in the options, and you can just there's like a specific way to go about it to get certain items from amiibo. Is you save before you use the amiibo, you scan it in, you open the chest, and when the window pops up that says this is what you got, and if it's what you got, and if it's what you want, you keep it. But if it's something else, you reset, because it only lets you scan a specific amiibo once a day.
Oh god.
But you can't. I think.
Yeah, for mobile games too.
Yeah. Like I think you.
Yeah, you just basically cheesing it.
Yeah. Like I think you can like change the system time to do it multiple times a day. But also in the game, there's a thing that looks different but has the same effect called the Barbarian armor. But because I prefer the look of the Majora's Mask of the Fierce Deity armor, I use that one. But I just put on the Barbarian set on stream right now so you can see it.
Wait, so I have a Twilight Princess like Midna and Wolf Link amiibo. Does that have anything like in this game? Does that have like any special items?
Yes. If you clear a thing in Twilight Princess HD, you can scan in the Wolf Link amiibo into Breath of the Wild, and you can have Wolf Link travel around with you. So he can like attack enemies and things like that for you.
And you have to clear Twilight Princess HD, right?
I think you need to clear a specific thing in Twilight Princess HD. Like it's an after game trial or whatever. So.
Oh god. Well, I guess I have to tell Twilight Princess. I have a medic game too. So
yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go.
That sounds awesome though.
Yeah. So I'm going to head in and attack the Lynel. A thing you should know about like the white and silver Lynels, they get an extra attack. And if he does it, you'll just see how annoying it is. So if he roars, that's his wind up for doing the attack. So you'll see it on stream in a second.
Equipment screen on my end.
Yeah, it'll get there. Just give it time. Mess it up. Yeah, they will slam their weapon into the ground and create an explosion, and it has a pretty wide range. But God, the game is lagging so much because there's so much going on right now. But yeah, the way I like to fight Lynels is I just like to stick up close and then just do flurry rushes as much as I can. But you can also do shield parries to stun them. Ah, fuck, I'm getting sloppy. And then there's also another there's an ability that you can get that will do damage to them and stun them. So that's useful, and when they're stunned, you can climb up onto their back and just sort of pummel them for a while they're trying to buck you off. Oh god. Come on. There we go.
The stream just skipping around.
Yeah, sorry.
I think I get the gist of it, but...
Yeah, oh god.
And the visuals aren't really sure.
But yeah, everyone has their own specific styles to them. Again, getting them right in the face will stun them, so that's a good way to get some easy hits into them. Doing flurry rushes and shield parries is a good way to get in some damage on them. You just need to be prepared with good armor and good weapons, because they can dish it out and they can take it. It takes some practice, but once you get the timing down, it's like you can beat these guys without taking any damage. And he's done.
This seems a lot less intimidating with all that endgame equipment.
Yeah, it's... And they dropped, like, really good stuff. Like, this guy dropped, like, 40 shock arrows. Like, and I'm already full up on shock arrows, so it's like there's no point in me getting any more.
Oh, damage. I try to damage it, and it's like... barely... His HP bar barely moves.
Yeah, I know. But, like, the Lynels you want to try to avoid until you're skilled enough and have good enough equipment for it.
See, I'm kind of a... I've already encountered, like, kind of strong enemies that are outside my league in this game. Like, I've been exploring, and I'm basically an assassin. I think I've told you that.
Yeah, you said.
Kill them in stealthy ways. I tried to do it with this one, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't sneak up on Lynels. They are too smart. They will see you.
Yeah. And also, I also tried to go in and try not to get. But this, I couldn't predict its moves. It has a lot more. There's more actions programmed into its AI compared to all.
Yeah, like once.
It's pretty surprising.
Yeah, when you know their attack pattern, they get easier. But of course, learning their attack pattern is, involves actually getting into fights with them. So.
I mean, I think I got the pattern the first time, but I'm like, nah, I don't. It's gonna take me forever to kill this thing, so I'm just gonna come back later.
So, one thing, because you brought up being an assassin, one thing I want to bring up to you is that if you get the sneak strike prompt for sneaking up on an enemy, and it says like sneak strike Y on the bottom part of the screen, if you attack with the sneak strike, that does 8 times the weapon's base damage.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yes, that really comes in handy especially if you get the DLC. So, like, knowing how to do that...
Wait, can you beat out the Lynels? I'm assuming not.
No, you can't do it. Like I said, you can't sneak up on Lynels. They're too smart.
I couldn't sneak up on a horse. It kicks me in the face.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need help with for the game, or do you just want to experience the rest on your own?
Yes, pretty much that, yeah.
Okay.
The Lynels is actually pretty interesting. Like, maybe I could take it on right now, but, I'll just take care of other things first. I'm not...
Yeah, I mean, you could always save before you do...
That kind of early on in the game.
Yeah, it's, like, I think when I first went up against the Lynel, I had, like... 6-7 hearts or something like that, and no, I couldn't do it.